Liam was a quiet boy who lived in a small, broken house in a village. His family was poor. They didn't have much money or many clothes. He lived with his mother and grandfather. His grandfather was old and sick, and his mother worked long hours in the fields to provide for them. Despite their struggles, Liam loved his grandfather deeply. Every night, his grandfather would tell him stories about the stars in the sky. "You must always look for the light, no matter how dark life becomes," his grandfather often said. One day, his grandfather's health worsened. He couldn't get out of bed, and Liam and his mother didn't have money to call a doctor. They did everything they could to care for him. But one evening, Liam's grandfather passed away. Liam felt as if his heart had shattered into pieces. The house felt empty without his grandfather's stories. Liam cried every night but remembered his grandfather's words. Look for the light. He knew he had to be strong, even though it was hard. Liam wanted to help his mother, who was now very tired and sad. One day, he promised her, "I will make you proud, Mom. I will bring hope to our home." His mother smiled weakly and said, "I believe in you, Liam. You are a good boy. Never stop trying." Her words filled Liam with hope and courage. He began taking on small jobs around the village to support his family. He helped neighbors with their gardens, carried heavy water from the well, and fed the animals. The work was hard, but Liam never complained. He stayed strong for his mother. One evening, Liam noticed some children sitting outside, looking bored and lonely. He remembered the stories his grandfather used to tell him and had an idea. The next day, he gathered the children and began telling them stories, just like his grandfather had done. The children laughed and listened with excitement. Every day, they asked Liam to tell them more stories. Seeing their happy smiles warmed Liam's heart. He thought, maybe this is the light my grandfather talked about. It made him feel a little less lonely. Word spread quickly in the village about Liam's stories. Soon, even adults began gathering to listen. They loved how his stories made them forget their worries, even if just for a little while. One day, a woman from the city visited the village. Her name was Mrs. Nur, a teacher who loved books and storytelling. She noticed the children gathered around Liam and watched as he told his stories with energy and excitement. After the children left, Mrs. Nur approached Liam. "You have a special gift," she said. "You should be a storyteller or a writer." Liam felt shy and replied, "I only tell stories to make the children happy." Mrs. Nur smiled and handed him a book. "You can learn how to write your own stories," she said. "The world needs more people like you." Liam had never owned a book before. He was thrilled. That night, he couldn't wait to open it. By candlelight, he began to read. It wasn't easy at first, but he didn't give up. Every day after helping his mother, Liam read more and practiced writing his own stories. Weeks turned into months, and Liam kept working on his writing. One day, Mrs. Nur returned to the village and asked, "Have you written any stories yet?" Liam proudly showed her a small notebook filled with his first story. Mrs. Nur read it and smiled. "This is beautiful, Liam. You have talent. I want to publish your story." Liam couldn't believe it. His story was going to be in a book. He thanked Mrs. Nur and hugged his mother tightly. When his story was published, people from all over the city bought it and loved it. Liam became known as the boy who brought light. He used the money from the book to fix their small house and buy food for his family. But he didn't stop there. He continued writing stories and teaching the village children how to read and write. With the help of Mrs. Nur, Liam built a small library in the village where anyone could borrow books. He wanted to give others the same chance to learn that he had been given. Liam's mother was proud of him. "You have brought hope to us all, Liam," she said. "Your grandfather would be so proud too." Liam smiled, remembering his grandfather's words. Look for the light. He knew he had found his light in storytelling. No matter how dark life became, He could always bring hope to others through his words. Liam's journey is a reminder that even in the darkest times, we can find light through kindness, learning, and helping others. His story teaches us that courage and determination can lead to amazing opportunities. By spreading hope, we can create a brighter future for ourselves and those around us. Thanks for watching.